And so, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, he has brought this petition before this noble house for us to look into the matter.
Is there any legal impediment?
None, Mr. President. The second one is that of
legal impediment?
former bank manager, Mr. President. The second one is Hillary Omokede, who was a branch manager in Benin City, with Central Bank. According to this petition, he was dismissed because in his duty he was supposed to be one of those that will inspect the votes of money, and that at this particular time he was accused of tampering those votes in such a manner that the denominations of the money in the votes were tampered with. He denied this allegation and said he was not on duty on the day of this particular incident, and that he didn't sign any of the documents, that there was an officer who was on duty that signed it. And so he's at loss, according to him, why he has to pay by being dismissed. According to him, the matter was also referred to EFCC, and EFCC investigated the matter and also exonerated him. That despite all of those exoneration, he was not reinstated to his position and he was dismissed. He's asking that at the minimum, that his dismissal should be converted to retirement. These are the two petitions, Mr. President, and with your permission, may I come forward to lay these petitions.
You may proceed to lay the petitions. The two motions are hereby referred to the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions. To the revised motions are hereby referred to the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions. Yes, the revised motions are hereby referred to the Senate. To the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions. Yes, the revised motions are hereby referred to the Senate. To the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions of the Senate. Yes, the revised motions are hereby referred to the Senate. To the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions of the Senate. Yes, the revised motions are hereby referred to the Senate. To the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions of the Senate. Yes, the revised motions are hereby referred to the Senate. To the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct. Yes, Leader of the Senate. Point of order, Senator Bangunu. Order what?
Order 40, Rule 7.
Distinguished colleagues, please open to Order 40, Rule 7.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Taib Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished senators, it was pursuant to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the grand norm of the land, that gave us the power, our proceedings, and pursuant to the provision of the Constitution, which gave us powers to regulate our proceedings, we gave ourselves these rules in order to regulate our proceedings. Any deviation from these rules in guiding our proceedings is an invitation to chaos and anarchy. And as such, the Senate will jealously stamp its feet with a view to jealously guarding and protecting the sacred provisions of our rules. Our rules clearly states in a very clear and unambiguous language.
The same Senator Monguno, I would like you to read the rule you are talking about. I'm sure even our colleagues who are here to observe the proceedings also have their rules in their parliament.
Thank you.
So read the provision.
Yes, I'm just laying foundation for what for my ultimate destination. And my ultimate destination is that our rules in very clear and unambiguous terms in Rule 40 and specifically Rule 7 states that Senate should not receive or deliberate on any matter to which actions are pending in any court of law. And for your information, Mr. President, distinguished senators, this matter is sub judice before our courts. The petitioner, Senator Natasha, has gone to court in respect of this matter, and also the wife of the Senate President has equally gone to court in respect of this matter. So this matter is sub judice, and therefore the Senate is stopped, doesn't have the jurisdiction to entertain this matter. And therefore the ruling by Mr. President that this matter should be referred to the Public Petitions Committee is ab initio not necessary. It's not required ab initio, because it is an aberration for the Senate President to rule on that when our rule clearly and unambiguous term states that once matters are in court, the Senate does not have jurisdiction to entertain that matter. That is my submission.
Distinguished colleagues, Rule 40 of the Senate Standing Order 73 as amended. Rule 40 clearly states of the Senate Standing Order 73 as amended. Rule 40 clearly states.
And also an addendum to the effect that sub-4 of Rule 40 also clearly and in effect that your staff states that sub-4, no senator will present, also clearly and in effect that your staff states by himself. Sub-4, no senator will present, also clearly himself. It includes herself based on the rules of interpretation. And this petition that was presented by Senator Natasha was signed by herself, which is also in gross contravention of our Senate rules. It has to be her constituents or any other Nigerian.
Distinguished colleagues, let us finish with Senator Manguno's order. 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 Senator Manguno's order Senator Nader, let us finish with Senator Mongono Sadara. Senator Oduagan, please, let's finish with Mongono Sadara. The order referred to by Senator Mongono, who also served for 12 years as a member of the House of Representatives, or 16 years, and was also a chief whip for 8 years, and at the time chairman of the Judiciary and Legal Matters, is very pertinent and relevant. For those of you who may have doubts, after this you can request from the clerk the standing orders of the Senate and look at Rule 40, Sub-Rule 4 and Sub-7. Rule 40 says that a petition can be presented by any senator who may also wish, in other words, if a petition passes to a senator, that senator can go ahead to affix his name at the beginning of the petition. Order 44 says no senator may present to the Senate a petition signed by himself. Order 40, Rule 7 says Senate should not receive or deliberate on any matter to which actions are pending in any court of law. Senate should not receive or deliberate on any matter to which actions are pending in any court of law. Before I rule, I would like to hear the opinion of Senator Natasha Bragan regarding the rules.
Thank you very much, Senate President. Again, I'm Senator Natasha Akutu, representing the good and virtuous people of Kogi Central. I beg to differ that this matter is sub judice, and I stand on privilege 10, order 10.
No, sorry.
No, dear Senate President, please, with due respect, do you mind? I have raised an order 10 privileges, sir, please. It's my right, Senate President. Order 10 on privileges, please. I believe, and please, would you?
I'm hearing you.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he or she shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that the contempt or breach of privilege has been committed. I stand and I believe herefore, sir, that your denial, your refusal to accept and treat my petition before the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Abuse of my privileges, and I say forth, that this matter is not sub judice, it is not before the court. The matter before the court is on the defamation and cyberbullying statements made by your special assistant on new media, Mr. Patrick Conform, who addressed my decent outfits as transparent, thereby depicting that I walk sedulously and naked to the chambers. That is the nature of the petition, of the case in court. This petition, sir, has never been filed. The petition that alleges, or should I say, accuses you of making sexual harassment moves, abusing your office, and making malicious obstructions to my legislative functions has not been tendered anywhere before, no court in Nigeria. So, sir, I would appreciate if you kindly accept my petition and forward same to the Ethics and Privileges Committee so it could be treated. Thank you, sir.
Yes, first let's finish with Senator Bangunu. The Chief Whip of the Senate. Your point of order is sustained. Yes, distinguished Senator.
Mr. President, you know, some of us who are elderly in this chamber will have to come out for posterity. This matter is already in court from both sides. And there have been a ruling of an injunction which restrained the Senate from interfering in this matter. I saw it today. The issue of this particular petition, you have already ruled and put the gavel down. Therefore, the observance of the rules of the Senate, Section 47 and the other sections that have been quoted by my learned brother there, should be the responsibility of that committee. So close the matter, hand over to the committee, then the committee will be privileged to look into the rules and then take whatever decision is appropriate under our rules. So there is no need to extend this issue. It will be more damaging to this institution and to us.
Leader, your point of order is sustained. Distinguished colleagues, no, let me come. The Senate actually referred her matter, not because I was not aware of the provisions of the rule, I was, but it's because when people are watching from outside, they may not know that we are guided by, I will call it laws, allowed by the Nigerian Constitution for us to make. I sustain your point of order. I've also sustained that of the observation of the former leader of the Nigerian Senate, distinguished Senator Abdullahi. So, Senate Leader, please. Senate Leader. I will take all points of order. I will take all. Everybody must be given a right to speak, but not on this matter. Huh?
Let's move on.
Senate Leader, whether I like it or not, you are the next person I'm calling. Because we are, no, please, Senate Leader, can we proceed with our day's proceedings? Senate Leader, can we proceed with our day's sitting?
Mr. President, and very distinguished colleagues, unfortunately, I am not sure any of us had ever envisaged that a day like this will come in the life of the 10th Senate, but it has come. And we still have to do what we have to do in overriding public interest. Because it's not about distinguished Senator Natasha and the Senate President. It's about the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I urge all our colleagues to note two things. One, Order 40, sub 4, says no senator bringing a petition shall be the author. The essence of this rule is to allow us as elected representatives of the people, senators, to present and lay petitions on behalf of our constituents. The alternative to that is the matter of privilege, Order 10. That's what we can do. Not to bring a petition. Mr. President, I sympathize with you. As a man being accused of sexual harassment. I am not going to comment on that because there will be an ample opportunity for the relevant authorities to deal with that. But I know, dear colleagues, that distinguished Senator Natasha went to court on a matter, then appeared on Arise TV on another matter, talking about sexual harassment. And the wife of the President of the Senate, Mrs. Uloma Akpabio, on behalf of the family, the children, went to court, and parties have been served on allegation of sexual harassment. So it is important for the public to know, and also our observers, including our foreign observers, who are also parliamentarians from the United Kingdom, to know that political as this matter can be, we cannot be emotional about it. We are guided by two things. Actually, three different things. We are guided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Section 60 of which says, we shall regulate our procedure. Secondly, we are guided by the rules of this Senate. Section 40, subsection 4, of which also says, no senator shall personally sign a petition to be laid before this Senate. It's not about committee on ethics. It's not about waiting for the committee to take a decision. It's about whether this matter is right to be referred to the committee. Mr. Senate President, you were being emotional because you didn't want to be seen as trying to stop this allegation. That was why you even allowed it to be referred. The Senate erred by referring it to the court. Is not competent to stand before the Senate. That is the issue. It was signed by most distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, for whom I have a lot of respect. We cannot rewrite our rules because of anyone, and we'll be setting a dangerous precedent. Number three, other than Constitution and the rules, the Senate is guided by customs and conventions, parliamentary customs and conventions. In all of these, Mr. President, this petition cannot stand for two reasons. One, the issues and allegations of sexual harassment are already issued before the court. And two, because it is defective. The petition is defective and it's in violation of Order 40, subsection 4 of our rules. And in view of this, Mr. President, I just want to say that there is no way we can accept this petition. And having said this, Mr. President, may I then most respectfully, since we have said we should go to the next order of the day, may I then respectfully urge our colleagues that we proceed to an executive session.
The Senate leaders' observations are noted. You've not moved a formal motion to that. But sorry, before you go there, I don't want to appear to have shut out any senator.
Yes, sir.
Senator Cyril Fassi.
Yes, sir. I am coming under Order 42. I am coming under Order 42. By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor may debate arise upon the explanation. Mr. Senate President, before I say what I want to say, I want to refer you to Psalm 34, line 19, which reads thus: many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him from them all. The righteous person faces many troubles, but the Lord comes to his rescue each time. Mr. President, I want to bring up a case that happened when when my former governor was the Minister of Federal Republic. Mr. President, I want to say this because my former governor is also going to bring a petition on the allegation that Senator Natasha alleged when he was a minister that Ajaokuta steel mill.
Your mic.
Yes, mic. If this is what is happening about character, then we have to expose the character of a petitioner. Mr. President, I am coming officially with a petition from my former governor on the allegation that he sold Ajaokuta steel mill when he was a minister. And Senator Natasha was the one that alleged as at that time. And as at today, Mr. President, Ajaokuta steel mill it still belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. I have just said this as a notice, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, point of order is noted. Let me
Order 10, please. Order 10 again.
Senate leader. Senate leader.
10, please. Order, please. Dear Senate President, I feel I'm being judged. I say this. Never did I accuse me of sexually assaulting me. I never found myself critical here.
Executive session. Can anybody? I say executive.
Respect.
Move it now. No, move it.
Okay. Let everybody talk. Who might say magana? Yeah.
Point of order.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion moved by the no motion.
Leader of the Senate.
Somebody back.
Leader of the Senate. Leader of the Senate. I'll plead with you to allow your motion to be in abeyance. The Senate can at any time go into executive session. But we have a lot of visitors in the gallery. If you go into executive session, we'll be telling them to leave us. So let us go into the business of the day.
Distinguished senators, resume your seats. Senator Fada, resume your seat. Senator Wadada, resume your seat.
Senator Fada, Senator Fada, I think Mongono is after you. You are not the only one standing. Senator Leader.
He is my grandfather.
Next item.
Mr. President, very distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the first business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in my name on the Institute of Leadership, Entrepreneurial and Corporate Governance Bill 2025, SB 1681. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Institute of Leadership, Entrepreneurial and Corporate Governance Bill 2025 SB 1681. First reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Institute of Leadership, Entrepreneurial and Corporate Governance Bill 2025, HB 1681, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Buhari Abdul Fatai on the Nigerian National Certification Agency Establishment Bill 2025, SB 515. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Nigerian National Certification Agency Establishment Bill 2025 SB 515. First reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Nigerian National Certification Agency Establishment Bill 2025 SB 515, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Johanna Amos Kumai on the Federal Universities of Agriculture Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 732. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal Universities of Agriculture Amendment Bill 2025 SB 732. First reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Federal Universities of Agriculture Bill, Federal Universities of Agriculture Act Amendment Bill 2025 SB 732. First reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Abdul Hamid Malam Medori Ahmed on the Federal University of Agricultural Technology and Natural Resources Malam Maduri Jigawa State Establishment Bill 2025, SB 733. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal University of Agricultural Technology and Natural Resources, Malam Mongori, Jigawa State Establishment Bill 2025, SB 733, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Federal University of Agricultural Technology and Natural Resources, Malam Maduri, Jigawa State, Establishment Bill 2025, SB 733, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fifth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Nwoko Ned Munir on the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 734. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 734, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 734, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is the resumption of adjourned consideration of the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on the David Umahi University of Health Sciences, Uburu, Ebonyi State Establishment Bill 2025, SB 365. Distinguished senators will recall that further consideration on the report at the Committee of Whole was deferred at Clause 5 and referred back to the committee on Tuesday, 11 February 2025 for further legislative action. The committee is now ready with a report. Mr. President, with your permission, I will to move that the Senate do resolve into the Committee of the Whole to resume consideration of the report.
Yes, the Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate resolves into the Committee of the Whole to continue the consideration of the bill. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do revert to Committee of the Whole to continue deliberations and consideration of this report. Those in support of the motion are seconded, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to Committee of the Whole. Distinguished colleagues, an act to provide for the establishment of David Umahi University of Health Sciences, Uburu, Ebonyi State, and for related matters, 2024, now, SB 365, long title on page 1. Those in support of the long title forming part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Number of clauses, 33. Those in support of the number of clauses, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 2. We actually started, should be from clause 6. We had gone that far. Clause 6. So clause 10. Those in support by clause 6 to 10 should form part of the bill. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is part and parcel. The bill is with you. We had taken it before, and we all have it. Clauses 11 to 20, those in support that they form part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. From 21 to 30, those in support that they form part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 31 to 33. Those in support of clauses 31 to 33 forming part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The interpretation clause is actually on clause 32 of page 21 of the bill. Those in support of the interpretation clause say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The short title, clause 33, page 22 of the bill. Those in support of the short title as stated therein say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The schedules from 1 to 3 on page 22 to 30. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The explanatory memorandum is on page 40. Those in support of the explanatory memorandum forming part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do now revert to plenary to enable the chairman report progress. I so move.
The minority leader.
Yeah, Mr. President, sitting as chair, I rise to second the motion that the Senate do revert back to plenary so that the chair can report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this Senate do revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund on the David Romai University of Health Sciences Establishment Bill 2025 and approve as follows. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses 1 to 31 as recommended. Interpretation clause 32 as recommended. Short title on clause 33 as recommended. Schedules 1 to 3 as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the bill be now read the third time. I so move.
The minority leader.
Mr. President and most distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the bill be now read the third time. I so second, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this bill not be now read for the third time. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of David Umahi University of Science, Health Sciences, Uburu, Ebonyi State, and for related matters, 2025 SB 365, third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of David Umahi University of Health Sciences, Uburu, Ebonyi State, and for related matters 2025. Third reading taken. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of David Umahi University of Health Sciences, Uburu, Ebonyi State, and for related matters 2025. Third reading taken and passed. Let me thank the Senate Committee on Third Fund and Tertiary Institutions for a job well done in bringing this report and clearing some gray areas. Coincidentally, this university was earlier established and was functional and even awarding degrees to students before the federal government took over. And the federal government took over the university with this name. And so it is not a new establishment. It is just to give it the legality so that the degrees and certificates from that university will be legal. So since this is what the federal government took over, if the federal government wishes to change the name, they know the procedure to do. That is the executive. Ours is to give it the legal backing for the establishment of that university. So I want to commend the Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund Committee, headed by our brother, Senator Danduse, for finally concluding this report and bringing same for consideration by the Senate. And also to thank our colleagues for the clause-by-clause considerations and everybody's contributions and amendments and suggestions that led to the passage of this bill. I thank you all. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues. The second order of the day is the consideration of a House bill for concurrence on the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2025, HB 1277. Mr. President, for the simple nature of the bill and for interchamber reciprocity, I would present a lead debate on the bill. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues,
Leader of the Senate. Can you proceed?
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, lead debate on the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2025, HB 1277, for concurrence from the House of Representatives. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is my honor and pleasure to lead the debate on this important bill from the House of Representatives for concurrence. Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2025, HB 1277. This bill seeks to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Cap 10, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospital Plenary, Gombe State, under the control of the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board and affiliated to the Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe State, to provide specialized orthopedic treatment and medical services. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, this bill is straightforward and has gone through the necessary legislative process in the House of Representatives. I therefore urge you all to support the second reading of this bill as we refer it to the Committee of the Whole for clause-by-clause consideration. Thank you.
Yes, the minority